So let us move further, and today we will go to the next shloka of Yoga Darshan chapter 1. So today we will discuss about the 8th shloka, which explains about Viparyaya, one of the vrittis, which is again a very important thing to understand, because Viparyaya, the meaning itself of Viparyaya is wrong knowledge. So anything which is wrong comes under Viparyaya. So what Maharishi Patanjali says, Viparyayo mithya gyan atadrup pratishtham. So atadrup, which is not corresponding to its actual form, pratishtham, which is not at all based on that. So Viparya is mainly based on the false understanding or the knowledge which is not corresponding to the actuality of that particular thing. So you are thinking of something that it is right, but the object may not correspond to the actual reality with that, whatever your thought is present. So Viparya means, basically the word meaning of Viparya is wrong knowledge ya mithya gyan. Mithya is, we know very well, mithya matlab ki false or wrong. Gyan means knowledge, and atadrup is which is not corresponding to its form or the actuality. Pratishtham means which is based on. So the second type of vritti is called Viparya. जो दूसरी वृत्ति है उसको हम विपर्य कहते हैं. It is based on some kind of contact with an external object, but the mental object, whatever imagination or whatever image you have made, the mental object whatever you have made does not correspond to the actual image. So the second type of vritti जो विपर्य है, whatever mental image you have created, जो भी आपके मन में उस नॉलेज का इमेज बना हुआ है, स्वरूप बना हुआ है, रियलिटी में वो वैसा नहीं दिखेगा. दैट इज कॉल्ड विपर्य. सो विपर्य इज समथिंग वेयर द नॉलेज इज ऑल्सो बेस्ड ऑन सम काइंड ऑफ कॉन्टैक्ट विथ एन एक्सटर्नल ऑब्जेक्ट, बट द मेंटल इमेज डज नॉट कॉरेस्पॉन्ड टू द एक्चुअल इमेज. नाउ मिथ्या ज्ञान लिटरली मीन्स फॉल्स नोइंग. मिथ्या ज्ञान का मतलब है मिथ्या ज्ञान, विच इज रॉन्ग नॉलेज, और जो ज्ञान अशुद्ध है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इसका एग्जाम्पल लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड फ्रॉम दिस. एन एरर इन परसेप्शन वुड बी थिंकिंग ऑफ ए रोप इन बैड लाइट एज ए स्नेक. तो मिथ्या ज्ञान का सबसे बड़ा एग्जाम्पल क्या है कि व्हेन यू सी इन ए डार्कनेस यू सी ए रोप एंड यू थिंक इट इज ए स्नेक. तो विपर्य का सबसे उत्तम एग्जाम्पल क्या है कि आप अंधेरे में जा रहे हैं कहीं पर, वहाँ पर एक बहुत मोटी रस्सी पड़ी हुई है दूर, और आपको लगता है वो सांप है. सो दिस इज विपर्य. महर्षि व्यास डिफाइंस विपर्य एज एरर, एज कंसिडरिंग समथिंग टू व्हाट इज एक्चुअली नॉट प्रेजेंट. ये एक गलत इंटरप्रिटेशन है विच इज नॉट बेसिकली प्रेजेंट इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू. सो Atadrup, what is Atadrup? Atadrup is a state that can be subsequently removed by true knowledge of the actual nature of the thing in question. So Atadrup is the state that can be removed by once the true knowledge comes there. Now Vigyan Bhikshu states that error is the result of superimposition of wrong knowledge on to an object. So Vigyan Bhikshu, he says very clearly कि when there is a superimposition of a wrong knowledge about the object, like you think about somebody with your own imaginations, with your own thoughts, whatever accumulation you have, so that can be a viparya. The person may not be exactly like that. An error regarding what is not available for perception, and thus inference would be, for example, thinking that oneself is just this body-mind complex. मिथ्या ज्ञान है ना ये. दिस इज ए रॉन्ग नॉलेज ओनली दैट दिस बॉडी, दिस सेल्फ इट सेल्फ इज ए बॉडी माइंड कॉम्प्लेक्स. सो थिंकिंग दिस सेल्फ इज ए बॉडी माइंड कॉम्प्लेक्स इट सेल्फ इज ए बिगेस्ट विपर्य. सो वी ऑल नो what yoga says very clearly, that this body is not the body, this self is not the body mind complex. This is something deeper, something beyond than this. So an error is assumption or interference. Error क्या है? एक assumption है, एक interference है, would be one that does not amount to valid indirect knowledge. So you are giving the information about certain things, but without having a proper assumption and proper inference. So whatever knowledge you are giving, that becomes a totally wrong information about that particular object. So wrong knowledge is a false conception of a thing whose real form does not correspond to such a mistaken conception. So suppose a person, you are hearing about that person so much that he is like negative or positive, whatever may be, and by just that hearing, by that thought, and with your indriyas, whatever imagination you can have, you draw a picture of that person, and once that person comes in front of you, that person is totally different from your imagination, so that becomes a viparya for you. It is a wrong knowledge what you had for that person. So the kleshas mainly ignorance, the kleshas mainly avidya, जो क्लेश है उसमें अविद्या सबसे प्रथम है, ignorance, I-ness, that is your I-amness, asmita, attachment is your rag, hatred, will to live are conceived. So rag, dvesh, abhinivesh as the cause of viparya. तो जो क्लेश हैं, these kleshas are the main cause of wrong knowledge. जो क्लेश हैं वो आपके विपर्य का मुख्य कारण है. So these kleshas are the main reasons for your viparya or the wrong knowledge. Because of these kleshas, basically you start imagining the things because you are in pain. So your indriyas, your manas may not be able to grasp the things in a right way, the way it should receive. And you know very well that mind starts brooding on anything unnecessary. So automatically this kleshas, this all the pains what we have, avidya, asmita, rag, dvesh, abhinivesh, they become the root cause for the viparya. So these kleshas or pains are nothing but viparyayas, and this causes the pain. So whenever you have a wrong information about a person, it is a pain. Because once you meet or once you analyze, once you experience that knowledge, you understand very well that you were wrong. So it is a klesh for you. So always remember that kleshas are one of the very important and biggest problems which everybody has to overcome in the path of yoga. So error is not knowing the actual nature of whatever is the subject matter of the cognition and then imposing one's imagination upon it, thinking that this is its real form. So what is an error? Viparya क्या चीज़ है? First thing, you don't know the actual swarup of the object. Like swarup sthiti में, you don't realize what is your actual swarup, and you start imposing your own imaginations that you are this, you are called by this name, you are father of this person, you are mother of this person, you are child of this person, आप किसी के माँ बाप हैं, किसी के कुछ भी हैं. So those impositions on the body, on the self, is the wrong knowledge. It is the wrong knowledge because this is not your swarup sthiti. आपकी स्वरूप स्थिति क्या है? Total, once you attain yoga chitta vritti nirodha, once you attain that state, and you become established in your own pure swarup, pure form, that is your swarup sthiti. But what you think? You are father of somebody, you are mother of somebody, or you are student of somebody, or you think that you know so many things. So you are in between kleshas. So this error hinders progress in the yoga. So this viparya, they become an obstacle in the path of yoga, and that's why it is called klisht. As we know, there are two types of vrittis, klisht and aklisht. So this viparya becomes klisht and it becomes an obstacle for the path of yoga, and that's why it should be removed. If that learning takes place, then that learning would be due to one of the pramanas, because whatever pramanas are there earlier, what we have discussed, it will be through those pramanas. Now illusionary or erroneous knowledge is based on non-fact or non-real things. So whatever pramanas you have seen, if they are not real, then automatically the product also will not be real. So it is very important that these viparyas should be totally controlled, and the kleshas should be disintegrated. Now, to disintegrate the kleshas, we have the practices explained by Maharishi Patanjali in second chapter. So there he talks about Kriya Yoga. We will discuss this when we talk about the Kriya Yogas, about the kleshas. But here we have to understand very well that if you really want to move further in the path of yoga, it is very important that all the wrong knowledge should be removed or disintegrated by the sadhana. Because without disintegration of the sadhanas, disintegration of your wrong knowledge, you will not be able to move forwards. Now these kleshas or the pains which are created by you, basically, it is not created by somebody from outside, because when you create this kleshas like avidya we discussed, so the biggest avidya is you are this body, you are not this, you are not soul. The biggest avidya is you think that you know everything. The biggest avidya is you think that you are the doer, or you are running the whole college, or you are running the whole hospital, or you are running the whole world, or you know everything. So that is the biggest avidya. And because of that, what will happen? That avidya, that ignorance will nourish your ego, which is I amness, which I discussed earlier. So it will keep on nourishing your ego, and once your ego is nourished so much, so automatically you will be ahankari. And we know very well, if you are having lot of ego, we know the after results of that ego. We know very well the story of Ravan, who was Mahapandit, and because of his ego, all the mistakes. So because of the ego, whatever knowledge also you must have accumulated earlier, everything becomes zero. And then comes the rag, and then dvesh. So because of rag, dvesh also you develop pains, lot of pains. Because see, because of ahankar, you don't allow people to talk, you don't allow people to understand you, or you don't allow yourself to understand the people, because you think whatever you say is right, you become a king. And that ahankar, now people, those who listen to you, जो आपकी बात सुन रहे हैं, you start favoring them. So that is your attachment towards them. You develop rag towards them, and every time you try to talk to those people only, those who favor you. So that is rag. And dvesh is anybody who is against you or who says right in front of you that no, you are wrong and this is not the right thing to do. Automatically you are away from them. You develop dvesh from them, you develop enmity from them. So, and then abhinivesh is the fear of death, basically. So when you are under kleshas, when you have avidya, you have always a fear that you may lose whatever you have accumulated by doing the mistakes of your life. Even not realizing that you have committed a mistake. You must have cheated the person. You must have hurt somebody's feelings. You must have hurt your parents, your spouse, your friends, anything. Because whoever cheats or whoever creates this illusionary sphere around them, they are bound to suffer, because whatever you do, it is accumulated in your karmas. Nothing is, you cannot be free, and nobody can cleanse your karmas. So these kleshas are going to create the problem, and these kleshas are nothing but viparyas or the wrong knowledge. So if you want to disintegrate these kleshas, you have to follow the path of yoga. And path of yoga, mainly we have, according to Maharishi Patanjali, there are different paths of yoga. He explains about some paths. There are multiple paths which can help in disintegrating these kleshas or burning these kleshas. So I think we have to very much understand that after Viparyaya, because once you have understood pramana, now you have understood, one side you have understood what is right knowledge, now you have understood what is wrong knowledge. Now we will go for the next vritti, which is called vikalp. Vikalp is the imagination. Now imagination and the reality are two different things. You may be imagining anything, but it may not correspond to the actual reality. So it is basically Viparyaya only. So let us discuss about that now.